Hey guys, we're back with one of the most dangerous openings in chess. I'm going to show you a game which was played in 1952 between two Soviet legends, the patriarch Mikhail Botvinnik, who faced Mark Taimanov. And I'm going to show you how much poison is in this particular chess opening. So let's get to the game. The Mikhail Botvinnik, the patriarch, started and opened with d4. And we have knight to f6, c4, e6, and knight to c3, asking black if he wants to play the Nimzo. So Mark Taimanov accepts the challenge and he plays bishop to b4, pinning the knight. And here in this position, if you play the Nimzo-Indian defense, probably you had this position many times on the board. You can play a3, challenge the bishop. You can play queen to c2. You can play e3 or bishop to g5, pinning the knight. Knight to f3 or maybe f3. A lot of moves can be played. But Botvinnik just wanted to stay solid and he played e3, cementing the d4 pawn, and hopefully he will continue development of the two minor pieces. So let's see what happened. We have knight to c6 and knight to e2, defending the c3 knight, and d5, striking the center. Botvinnik attacked the bishop, and here if Taimanov would capture the piece, the other knight would land on c3 square and Taimanov would have nothing. This would be better for white. So when a3 was played, he just went back to e7 square, which is good, and we have a trade in the center. C takes d5 and e takes d5, and knight to f4. Here we have castles by Taimanov. Here in this position, Botvinnik played bishop to e2, and he had something in mind, which I'm going to show you. Taimanov played bishop to f5, and now, what do you think here in this position Botvinnik played? He played g4. He started an attack against the black king. And here we have bishop goes back to e6, and we have a trade. Knight takes bishop, and f takes on e6. This is e6 pawn is weak, and now we have castles. Queen to d7, and f4. A very useful move by Botvinnik, securing the e5 square. So this pawn remains backwards pawn and a weakness in black's camp. And now we have knight to d8 and bishop to d3. Knight to f7, remaneuvering the knight, and b4, preventing any c5 ideas and securing that c5 square, maybe for some knight jump, some knight action, and we have a5, b5, and knight to d6, attacking the b5 pawn. Queen goes to f3, securing some e4 square, and a4. And now a very nice move by Botvinnik. He played rook to a2. And what that move does, he wants control of the second rank, and most importantly, this rook will transfer to g2 square to put pressure on the black king. So let's see how the patriarch executes his plan. Taimanov plays c6, getting some counterplay, and we have a trade. B takes on c6 and queen takes on c6. And now, first rook to c2, putting the rook on the same file as the queen. The queen goes back, queen to d7, and we have g5. Nicely taking squares away from the black's knight. And now knight from f to e8. Here, this is the critical moment of the game. I'm going to ask you to pause the video. You are Mikhail Botvinnik, the patriarch. Try to find the perfect strategic combination. Pause the video and solve the puzzle. If you found the beautiful bishop sacrifice and follow-up play, you are an exceptional player. Here, Botvinnik sacked the bishop, and if you don't accept the piece, you're just worse. So here, Taimanov captured the bishop, and now you need to solve a lot further to just sack the bishop. You need to give check on h3 to check the king and pin this pawn. I'm going to show you why. Now the king goes to g8, and we have knight takes d5. The knight cannot be accepted because your queen is hanging. So bishop goes back, controlling the knight. And now the point of this combination, g6. A very nice move by Botvinnik. This move prevents queen coming to f7 square, and the king cannot move. The king escape square is covered, so mate is being threatened on h7 square, and we have a knight to f6 preventing the checkmate. And now we have a trade. Knight takes on f6 and g takes on f6. And here in this position, the patriarch made a mistake. He played g7. Why is g7 move a mistake? He saw, Taimanov saw that if he takes the pawn, this is a big blunder. I hope you wouldn't play this move, because c2 rook comes to g2 square, and your queen is lost. If we go back, here Taimanov missed that he can take with the king, which is a very good move, a very useful defensive resource, because now if you give a check with the rook, you just run away with the king, and white has nothing. So if we go back, here in this position, I'm going to show a line which was represented in the book. If Botvinnik saw that line, he would have won a game very easily. And the line goes like this: you play d5. Sorry, you play d5. Taimanov cannot accept the pawn because the pawn is pinned. So we would see something like rook e8, and we have bishop to b2, developing a bishop. Rook c8, challenging the c2 rook, and we have a trade. Rook takes, knight takes, and rook goes to f2, knight to d6, and here we have a trade. Takes and recaptures with rook. f5 is played, cementing the g6 square, the g6 pawn. So these are extreme weaknesses around the black king. And here we have rook back to e8 and rook to d2. This is the crucial, the critical move Here the threat is, I'm going to show you here 2 lines. It's hopeless for black pieces. Let's say, for example, black is careless and he plays b5. You just take a knight and deflect the queen from the defense of the 7th rank. Sorry, check, and this is checkmate. And now if we go back, let's say, for example, you want to defend the knight with the bishop, so white cannot take the knight because you would just recapture with the bishop. But now you just collect the pawn. The pawn nicely controls the f7 square. Here is checkmate on h8, so here you would have to give up the queen, and you're not playing this against the world champion. So here both players made some mistakes. Botvinnik made a mistake with this g7 move, and here Taimanov made a mistake because he didn't recapture the pawn with the king, and he moved the rook away on the e8 square. And now it's completely winning for Botvinnik. Unfortunately, queen delivers check, king goes to f7, queen back to h5, king goes back, and now rook to g2, cementing the pawn. So now the pawn cannot be captured, and we have knight goes to f7 square, defending the mate on h8, and we have rook to f3. Rook is coming to h3 square to deliver checkmate, to sack the queen and deliver checkmate with the rook. This is the plan. Taimanov wants to attack the queen with the rook lift, a nice rook lift. Queen goes back to h4 and e5. Rook to h3, and now mate is being threatened. If you play, let's say, a slow move, let's say, for example, you want to leave the rook, you're getting checkmated, check, knight takes, and this is nice checkmate. Sorry. This is nice checkmate. Sorry. So in this position, when rook to h3 was played, Taimanov sacked a queen, queen takes queen, and e takes on f4, e takes on f4, and we have bishop to b6. Trying to put some resistance, but that doesn't work. Against the patriarch, bishop to b2 was played, rook b5 attacking the bishop, and king unpins himself, king to f1. We have bishop to a5, rook c2 controlling the c file, and we have rook to b3. Queen goes to d7, attacking the rook, and rook from b to e3. Here is check. I hope you saw that. Queen takes a4, and now rook delivers check. King goes up the board, king to f2, and bishop back to c7. Now we have the beautiful move, which ends the game on the spot. In this position, Mikhail Botvinnik played queen takes rook. And the idea is simply black needs to accept the queen, and you lose a bishop. You are up 1, 2, 2. You're up 3 pawns. This is completely winning for white. And here I'm going to show you, here in this position, Taimanov resigned, but I'm going to show you if the game was played a couple of more moves, what could actually happen. I'm going to show you the best defensive resource black has, but it doesn't help him. Let's say rook a8, challenging the pawn so the bishop can't move, and now king f3, slowly developing, improving the position of the king. This pawn will march forward, the king just needs to go with the pawn. We have king takes g7 and d5. Rook a6, defending the pawn and securing the d6 square. The pawn cannot push forward. And we have rook takes b7. Now white has two passed pawns, three passed pawns, and king unpins himself, king to g6, and we have rook c7, preparing rook to c6. Knight defends the c6 square, and rook attacks knight. Rook attacks bishop on b2, and we have takes, king takes, and rook takes on d8. And now you see white has 4 pawns. This is completely winning for the Mikhail Botvinnik. So yeah, this is it. I hope you enjoyed and saw how much poison is in the positions of Nimzo-Indian defense. I'm going to show you more games of grandmasters, and you can comment in the comments down below if you want some exclusive game to be shown on my channel, and I'm going to pick one of them if it is very interesting. So just comment in the comments down below, and I hope your game will get analyzed, and we will see you soon with more chess content to come. See you soon, and goodbye guys. Goodbye.